Hello children, let's come back to our maths class. Today we are going to complete our exercise 1.3. So just we are going with so many sums were there, around 20 sums were there. So today we are going to complete our last sum from exercise 1.3. 1.3, sum number 20, I have told you to just complete the half part of the sum. That is, I have told you to find out the inverse of the function, and also I have told you to check the inverse part. I have told you check whether the inverse is also a function. I hope you have done that, both the parts, and now we are going to check the symmetrical property of the line. That is, we are going to check the symmetrical property about the line y is equal to x by drawing the lines. So let's have a glance of your answer. So you just check whether you have written the correct answer. So how was the question? What was the question? The question was a simple cipher. Cipher is a person who uses a secret way of writing. That is, he says a particular message in terms of numbers and codes. So secret way of writing. He uses a way which is not revealed, a secret way. He uses a secret way. Okay, what is the function given to you? F of x is equal to 3x minus 4. So this is all you have done. So you have to just check whether you have followed the same step that I have done. So just check your answers. Okay children. So what's that? Y is equal to, this function is given, that is f of x is equal to 3x minus 4. So we take this as y. So y is equal to 3x minus 4. So f of x is taken as y, yes, and x will be taken as g of y. Good. So remember this step. F of x will be taken as y and x will be taken as g of y. So now what is the next step you are going to do? You are going to write the answer in terms of x. That is, you have the value for y. Y is 3x minus 4. Now you have to write in terms of x. So let's see how to do the conversion. So what you do is bring the 4 to the side. That is, y plus 4 is equal to 3x. Now I want the answer for x. Therefore, x is equal to y plus 4 upon 3. Is it clear children? So we got the value for x. What is the value for x? Y plus 4 upon 3. And I have told you that x is g of y. Good. So write down. Therefore, g of y is equal to y plus 4 upon 3. Done. So we have, I hope you have got this answer. Yes children. So you have got fx and you have written fx in terms of y. And once you get the value for y, you have to write the value. That is, you have to change this in terms of x. And you have to write it as g of y. Okay, got the value? Now what are you going to do? You are going to find out g of x. G of fx. What is g of fx? G of fx. Okay, let's see how to substitute children. G of fx. And one more thing is you have to find f for gy. So what is fx here? G of fx. Here, fx. What is fx? 3x minus 4. Good. Now, where is our gy? Yeah, gy is y plus 4 upon 3. So, now what are we doing? We are going to replace y as 3x minus 4. So, what do you get here? See? So, you get this is equal to. So, wherever you have y, that will be replaced as 3x minus 4. So, this is equal to 3x minus 4 plus 4 upon 3. Yes. So, minus 4 plus 4 goes and 3x upon 3. So, what happens here? So, 3x upon 3, we have to cancel 3 and 3. And what is left here? X. Therefore, g of fx is equal to x, and we may write this as ix. Because when I solve g of fx, I get the value as x, which can be taken as ix. Okay, the next thing you are going to do, f4gx. Yes, let's find f4gx. F O G Y. Yeah, that's G O F X and F O G Y. We have taken F X and G Y. Yes, children. So write F O G Y. So remember these two things. These are the important things that you have to follow. F X write as Y and X take as G Y. Then you have to follow the composition of functions. You have to solve and get the value. We have done for G O F X. And now we are going to go for F O G Y. What is F O G Y? F of G Y. What is G Y? Yes, Y plus 4 upon 3. Yes, I hope you are doing the sum. Yes, very good. So it's Y plus 4 upon 3. Done. What is the value for F of X, children? Yes, it's 3x minus 4. So what are we going to do? We are going to replace X as Y plus 4 upon 3. Okay. So you get here 3. In terms, that is in place of X, what do you have to write down? You have to write it as Y plus 4 upon 3. So Y plus 4 upon 3. That is, I have replaced X as Y plus 4 upon 3 minus 4. Okay. So 3 and 3 gets cancelled. What is left here? Y plus 4 minus 4. 4 goes off and you get the answer as Y. Therefore, FOGY is equal to Y is equal to IY. So we have got the answer for GOFX and FOGY. I hope you have tried the sum in the same manner as I have done on the board. So if you have any doubts or if you have done any mistakes, just correct your answers, children. I want the answers to be done by this method only. Okay. So now what is the next thing you're going to write down? You have to write down the statements here. So write down. What is that? GOFX is equal to IX and FOGY is equal to IY. Therefore, F and G are bijections and inverses to each other. And inverse to each other. Okay, so now we have to write the value for F inverse Y first. Okay, F inverse Y. What is F inverse Y? Write down the value for Y. F inverse Y. What's the answer? That is, you are going to write the value for X. What is the value for X? Y plus 4 upon 3. So F inverse Y. How to write the value for F inverse Y? Write the value for X or write the value for G of Y. So you get Y plus 4 upon 3. Yes. So the inverse is Y plus 4 upon 3. We have not completed our step. We have one more thing to do. Yes. What are we going to do? You are going to replace Y by X. Good. So let's replace Y by X. Replacing Y by X, we get F inverse X. This wherever you have Y, it will be taken as X. So you get X plus 4 upon 3. So replacing Y by X, we get F inverse X is equal to X plus 4 upon 3. So till this is the first part, that is, we have found the inverse of a function. Now we have to check whether this inverse is also a function. So let's go for the step. So you have to show the explanation using a arrow diagram. Yes, children? So let's draw arrow diagram and let's check the answer. Okay. So let's draw the arrow. I'll just rub this part. So what was the heading we have given for the previous sum? To check whether the inverse is also a function. To check whether inverse is also a function. So this is what we are going to do. And I have told you to try this part also. So just check whether you have done everything correctly. So I have told you to draw two functions, so f inverse x. Here I will write x. And what is the answer you have got for f inverse x? Yeah, it's x plus 4 upon 3. So write f inverse x, x and x plus 4 upon 3. That is, if I go on taking different values of x, I am going to get different values over here. If I take 1, I will get here 5 upon 3. If I take 2, I will get 6 upon 3. If I take 3, I get 7 upon 3. That means for every value of x, I get a different value for x plus 4 upon 3. Because of every value, a different value. So we say that inverse is also a function. So let's explain the part. You write down each value of x, each value of x in domain has a unique, each value of x in domain has a unique value in codomain. Has a unique value in codomain. Therefore, f inverse x is also a function. Therefore, f inverse x is also a function. Okay, children. So I hope you have done the sums in the same way I have represented over here. Okay, now we are going to the last part of the question, that is we are going to verify the symmetrical property about the line y is equal to x. So what we are going to do is we are going to draw a graph. So just get ready with your pencils and your ruler. So do not, if you have a very small space left, please use a new page so that our graph will look neat. So what is that? You have to verify. You have to verify the symmetrical property about the line y is equal to x. So we have to do 3 graphs over here. One is we are going to draw the graph for y is equal to x, and one is you are going to draw a graph for the function. What is the function? F of x is equal to 3x minus 4, and one we have to draw the graph for f inverse x. What is f inverse x? X plus 4 upon 3. So we are going to draw the 3 graphs, and we are going to see how are they lying. How is the graph lying? What is the relation between f of x and f inverse x? So let's have a check of the graph by, so what are you going to do? We are going to plot the graph. So get ready for plotting the graph. I'll just drop this part. So I have told you that we are going to go for 3 graphs. That is in a single graph itself. Okay, we are not going to draw 3 different graphs. We are going to show all the 3 details in the same graph. So first of all, we will draw a table for all the 3 functions that we are going to plot. So y is equal to f. So we are going to draw a graph for y is equal to x. So draw a table. Use your scale and pencil. This is continuation of sum number 20. The sum is not completed, you know. I have told you that we have to verify also. So I have given you 2 part as homework. That is, I have told to check whether it is a, what is that? I have told you to find out the inverse of the function, and also I have told you to check whether the inverse is a function. So just plot the point. So that too we have done. So now we are going to check for the, what is that? Symmetrical property. So y is equal to x. So x, y. So if I take x and y is equal to x means what, children? Same value. Whatever value you are going to take, it is going to be the same. If I take x as 0, y will be 0. If I take x as 1, y will be 1. If I take x as minus 1, minus 1. Just take 2. If I take x as 2, y is also 2. So I have just completed the table for y is equal to x. So this is what type of representation, children? This is a tabular representation. So we are representing a function in the form of table. So a tabular representation. We have studied the different ways of representing a function. Yes, a tabular representation. Okay, now let's come to the next one. I have told you that we have to find out the function. That is, you have to get the value for function also, and also you have to graph for f inverse x. So just if you have place, you can write down over here, or you can just continue here, no problem. So f of x is equal to 3x minus 4. F of x is equal to 3x minus 4. So let's write down the value. I'll write here, so one is unknown is x, and here f of x you get. So put here x, f of x. X, f of x. Do not just go on taking any value. You have to just take a value which give you a proper value. Okay. So let's try to choose a appropriate value for x, so that it is easy for us to plot the graph. Do not choose a number in such a way that you get an answer in form of decimals. We don't want a decimal answer. We just want a answer, so that it is we can plot it easily in the graph. See, if I take the value 0 for x, what I get? If I take 0, 3 into 0, 0 minus 4. So I get minus 4. Okay, one thing is done. If I take 1, 3 ones are 3 minus 4. So 3 minus 4, you get minus 1. For 0, minus 4. For 1, you get minus 2. Let me take one more value here. I'll take 2. So 3, 2 minus 4. 6 minus 4, which is equal to 2. 3 2s are 6 minus 4. So if I take the value for x as 2, I get the value for f of x as 2. So I have just completed the table for f of x. That is 3x minus 4. Okay. Now we have to plot one more graph for f inverse x. So let's complete the table for f inverse x. F inverse x is equal to x plus 4 upon 3. What is f inverse x? X plus 4 upon 3. Okay, let's see. Let's try to put some value. You have to choose a proper value. We don't want to answer in terms of fraction. So just try to choose a proper value. Okay, I'll write the table. I'll draw the table first. I'll write here x. I'll write here f inverse x. If I take x as, here we have 3. So if I put here 2, it will be divisible, yes? So take the value for x as 2. If I take x as 2, I get 2 plus 4 upon 3. That is 6 upon 3 is equal to 2. If I take the value for x as 2, I get f inverse x as 2 plus 4 upon 3. 6 upon 3 is equal to 2. Okay, now let us choose one more value. Yes, minus 1. Yes, if I put here minus 1, children, see, if I take minus 1, minus 1 plus 4 upon 3, minus 1 plus 4 upon 3. So it gives you 3. Minus plus minus. 4 minus 1, it's 3. Okay, and what is the sign of the bigger number? Plus. So 3 upon 3 is 1. So just stay down the table properly. So we have no need of going on writing more values. 2 or 3 values are enough. Stay on the table, children. I hope you have completed all your tables. Okay. Now let's start for plotting the graph. So you draw a x-axis and a y-axis. Don't draw any lines using your hands. You have to use your scale and your pencil. I don't want a shabby line. I want a neat line. So draw x-axis and y-axis. Okay, so put your x, this is your y. Since we are not having any numbers other than 1 and 2, I just take 1, 2 and minus 0. Take here 1, so give a proper gap so that our graph will look neat. 1, 2, minus 1, minus 2. Here you take the points. So 1, 2, minus 1, minus 2. Read properly. So 0, 1, 2, minus 1, minus 2 there, and just I have plotted the points. So what we are going to do is we are just going to plot one function at a time. Okay, so first one I am going to plot for y is equal to x. See the value for y is equal to x, children? 0, 0, here 1, 1, somewhat here, yes. So you have to plot it properly. We are just going slow. I am not hurrying up, so you do it neatly. 1, 1, minus 1, minus 1. That is y is equal to x means the value for x and the y will be the same. We have both the values to be same. Minus 1, minus 1, 2, 2. Yeah, 2, 2 here. Plot the points carefully. Use your scales to draw the lines so that your line is straight. Yes. So just draw the line. So now what are you going to do? I have plotted all the points 0, 0, 1, 1, minus 1, minus 1, 2, 2. Now try to join it properly using your scale and get a curve. You will get a straight line over here. So draw a straight line passing through all the points. So write down here y is equal to x. So we have plotted the graph of the first function, that is y is equal to x. So now we have to plot for f of x and also we have to plot for f inverse x. And we are going to check how is the line going to be, or how is the picture going to be. How is your f of x and f inverse x going to be. So we have just drawn because the question was verify the symmetrical property about the line y is equal to x. So we have completed the line y is equal to x. Shall we go for f of x, children? Okay. Okay, we have minus 4 also. Okay, so 0, minus 4. So minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. 0, minus 4. 0, minus 4, somewhere here it lies. On the point, okay, on the point, on the y-axis. 1, minus 1. 1, minus 1. 2, 2. 2, 2. Okay. Be careful. Minus 4, the 0, minus 4, 1, minus 1, and 2, 2. So draw a line. You can draw a straight line using the scale. Yes, you just place the scale properly and try to draw the points, children. That is, try to join the lines. Somewhat it will go here. So you have to write down here f of x is equal to 3x minus 4. F of x, we are going to draw the graph in a plain paper. So you have, whenever you mark the numbers 1, 2, 3. So you use a scale so that the centimeter, if you just go on marking with proper centimeters, you will get a perfect graph. The graph will look perfect like in your graph, how you do in your graph note. Okay, done. So have you completed f of x, children? 3x minus 4. Do it. Let's go for one more thing. Yes, one is f inverse x. So plot for f inverse x. So what is that? 2, 2. It's here. 2, 2. Minus 1, 1. Minus 1, 1. Somewhat here. Minus 1, 1. Okay. So plot the point. Try to join them using your scale. Okay, let's join. Join the points. So here you get the points. So from here, yes, so it's somewhat here like this. It's somewhat here. It will be extended, okay, like this the line goes. Okay. So put here f of x is f inverse x. F inverse x is equal to x plus 4 upon 3. Have you drawn the graph, children? Just plot the graph properly, neatly, do not miss any points. Have you taken down the graph? Okay. Now just stop your writing work and listen to me. So what was the thing? They have asked you to draw a line y is equal to x, and they have asked you to check for the symmetrical property. They are asking whether the functions, that is the function x and the inverse of it, are lying on symmetrically. That is, symmetrical means what? Like a mirror image. Are they looking like a mirror image? See here, we have a line y, this is our reference line, this is the middle main line, and just see the remaining two things. So they form a, what is that? Like a mirror image. See here, mirror image, a mirror image. So what you are getting? You are getting a mirror image. Since you are getting a mirror image, we say that it verifies the symmetrical property, or the symmetrical property is verified. Just you can have the answer. So from the graph itself, you just can say directly, we can write the answer from the graph, because we have drawn the graph, we have plotted the graph, and from the graph it is very, very clear that the function f of x and f inverse x is symmetrical. That is, they are the mirror images of each other. So the symmetrical property is verified. Is it clear, children? How are we verifying the symmetrical property? By looking at the graph. How is the graph looking like? It is like the mirror image. You have a mirror image. So the verification part is done. So let's have a small conclusion over here, and we will complete our sum. Read on. So below this graph you have to write this explanation. The graph of y is equal to f inverse x is the reflection of graph y is equal to f of x. So they are reflection. Reflection means they are the mirror image of each other. Okay. So what I can say? Hence, symmetrical property is verified. That's what we need. Symmetrical property is verified from graph. From the graph itself. So from where I am going to verify? I am verifying the symmetrical property by the graph. So complete the answer. Okay. So we have completed with sum number 20. And we have some points to write before we go to exercise 1.4. So if you have some idea about the points, then only we can go for exercise 1.4. So I'm going to write some points to remember. You take down the points, and after completing points to remember, we will go to exercise 1.4. I hope you have completed this. Yes, children? Okay. And let's continue, or let's go for the next part. Give the heading points to remember. Give the heading points to remember. Okay. Under this, we are going to write on the first point. Let us see here. Just come to page 38. In the page 38, you can see a heading over there. Graphing functions using transformations. Now, what are you going to do is, you are going to graph the function. A function will be given to you, and you are going to graph the function. That is, you are going to draw the graph for it using transformation. Now, what is the meaning of transformation? Transformation is the small changes. Just by small changes, you may shift the graph upward, or you may shift the graph downward, or you may shift the graph to the left, or you may shift the graph to the right, or you may compress the graph, or you may stretch the graph. So these are the different transformations. What is the transformation, children? The graph can be moved upward. It can be moved upward, or we can say, instead of writing moved, we can write shifted. The graph can be shifted upward, it can be shifted downward, it can be shifted towards the right, and it can be shifted towards the left. It can be expanded. Expanded, what do you mean by expansion? Expansion, yeah, expansion means what happens? If you go on filling air into the balloon, what happens? The balloon gets expanded. If you go on filling air into the ball, what happens to the ball? The ball gets expanded, is just filling. And similarly, if you go on filling the air into the tire of your bicycle, it gets expanded. So remember, expanded means what? Expansion. Okay. So expanded. It gets expanded. And the next one is compresses. Okay, compresses means what? Contracts. Is the opposite of expansion. Contracts means what happens? Just go on doing the thing that you have done previous. First, what you have done? You have filled air into the balloon. So now what you have to do? Just release air from the balloon. So when you release air from the balloon, what happens? The balloon shrinks. That is, the balloon gets compressed. Similarly, just pull out the air from the ball. What happens? Yes, the ball shrinks, or the ball gets compresses. Similarly, one more example I have given you. Yes, if you just remove the air from the tire of a bicycle, what happens? The tire gets compressed. So remember the example of expansion and compression. Expansion, it becomes more, or it's get widened. Compression, it becomes, you can say it is getting shrinked. It becomes less. So these are the different transformations that we are going to see, and this will be done using different headings. That is, we have different transformations. Okay, so this will be done using different ways. One is by, we have 3 different points under transformations. So let's see how we are going to do, what we are going to do, and how we are going to do. So give the heading over here. The different types of transformations. First point, types of transformations. First one, reflection. Second one, translation. And the third one, dilation. Translation. And the third one, dilation. So what are the three different types of transformations? The first one is reflection, the second one is translation, and the third one is dilation. Okay, now let's study the three different transformations with the help of an example. So I'm just going to take some examples and I'm going to explain to you what is the meaning of the reflection and how is the reflection going to be. Okay, so all that we are going to study in detail. So have you taken on this point? Take on this point, children. Okay, I hope you have taken on this point. Yes, children? Okay, now let's start the next thing. So now the next thing, or whatever things we are going to do, that will be a homework, and you are going to write down all that points, and I will give you some work for graph also. So you have to plot the graphs, you have to write some definition as homework. So listen to the homework carefully. So the first point under homework is about reflection. So homework, you are going to write about reflection. So listen to me carefully. Nobody is going to say that, ma'am, we did not get your homework. So just listen to the homework question carefully. So from reflection, that is, first of all, you are going to write the definition of reflection. What is the definition of reflection? The reflection of the graph of a function with respect to a line L is the graph that is symmetric to it with respect to L. Or in simple language we can say a reflection is the mirror image of the graph, where the line L is the mirror of reflection. So you have to write down the definition. I'll explain to you these points. So just note down the points that you are going to write down under reflection. So first of all, you give the definition. Okay. Now after giving the definition, you have to come to the line that is given below figure 1.47. That is page number 39. Okay. Can you see there some useful reflections of y is equal to f of x r? Yes. So you will be writing some useful reflections. So first is you have to write the definition for reflection. The second thing is you have to write some useful reflections. Getting the point? Okay. And after writing some useful reflections, you have to draw illustration 1.5, 1.6 and 1.7. So you have a graph over there. Okay. So you have to draw the graph and you have to explain. One line will be given below it. So you have to write the explanation also. I hope you are clear with the homework part. So write the reflection. So first definition, then some useful reflection, and then illustration. How many illustrations are there? Illustration means examples. So you have three examples, 1.5, 1.6 and 1.7. Okay, this is what you are going to write under reflection. Okay, the same thing you are going to follow for all the three, that is for translation and dilation. So before I give you the homework for the next one, I'll explain to you what is translation and what is reflection. So first let me explain about reflection, then we'll move for translation and dilation. Let's start for the explanation part. Just see here carefully. So what is reflection? Reflection, as the term says, is reflection. Reflection, what happens to reflection? When you just stand in front of a mirror, you get your own reflection. Yes, children? So that's what I just see my own image. Similarly, when you just stand in front or just when you see into the water, you just get a reflection. You just get the reflection back. So it's a reflection, same way. That means suppose you have a graph over here and we have a reference line. Okay, this line L is called a mirror line. Mirror, because when you look at the mirror, what you get? You get your own reflection. If I stand in front of a what's that? Mirror, I get my own image back as a reflection. Yes or no, children? Okay. Same way, If I am just drawing a function over here, we have a function. Mirror, anyway, the like x and y will be there here. If I'm just drawing a function somewhat like this. So how will be the mirror image of it? Let's see. It's going like this, so it will be somewhat like this. Yes. So you have to be, reflection is just a mirror image. So this is called what? Reflection. The same thing gets reflected here. Same reflection. So it goes like this. Yes. Okay. So clear picture. Anyway, we are going to draw all the graphs by using a smooth curves. Here no scales, all the smooth curves are going to be used. We are just going to join all the points and we are going to complete all the work using a smooth curve. So we are going to use our hand, minute work is going to be done. Okay children? Okay. Now just let's go for the first point under some useful reflections. What is the first point given? The graph y is equal to minus f of x. The graph y is equal to minus f of x is the reflection of the graph of f about the x-axis. About the x-axis. See how is the how your graph will be. Suppose we have a function. Now here a lot of details. See, we are not going to go for the writing part because now the main important thing is to understand the concept. Once the concept is clear, we can complete our exercise 1.4 just in a quick manner. Otherwise you will be having a lot of confusions why we are drawing the graph like this, because we are not going to plot the points. We are going to plot the graph directly. We are just going to do the transformations. We are just going to shift the graph. So you have to be clear with the concepts. So what is the concept given now? Suppose you have a function y is equal to x cube. Now this is a function. Okay, how is the graph of x cube? They have given you a graph of x cube like this. This is a graph of y is equal to x cube. Now what is the next thing they are asking you? They have given you a graph of y is equal to x cube and they are asking you to plot a graph of y is equal to minus x cube. So you are not going to draw a table, you are not going to plot a point over there and you are not going to get a graph. You are just going to take the graph as a reference graph and you are going to make a new graph. Now here see, the functions are the same. What is the function here? Y is equal to x cube. And what is the function here? Y is equal to minus x cube. Okay, so just a sign change. We have a change in the sign. So how are you going to complete the graph? So for this purpose, we have to read the first line of the reflection. What's the first line? The graph y is equal to minus f of x is the reflection of the graph of f about the x-axis. So that is where it gets reflected. It's going to get reflected about the x-axis. So where is the x-axis, children? So this is our x-axis. So it is going to get reflected in the x-axis. So how you get a graph? You get a graph like this. So this part turns to be like this. So simple, see, I have plotted it directly without plotting the values. We are just using the transformation. So here how is the graph moving? The graph is moving or it's turning downward. How was the function? Actual function, the curve was upward. It was facing upward. Now how it is facing? It is facing downward. Are you clear, children? Is the first point clear to you? So if you have a function y is equal to fx, they have given you a function. This is y is equal to fx. And now what are they asking? Plot a graph of function y is equal to minus f of x. So what are you going to do? You are just going to reflect it about the x-axis. So upward will turn to be downward. Remember. Clear, children? Okay, done. Now next one. If you have, you can just follow. That's why I have told you just go with all the illustrations. So once you go on doing the illustrations, you will get a concrete idea of this topic. Okay, now let's come to the next illustration. What is the next illustration given? They have given you two graphs. Y square is equal to x and y square is equal to minus x. So this was the first illustration. Here the reflection is along the x-axis, or you can say it's about the x-axis. Yeah, about, we'll use the word about. It's not along, it's about the x-axis. Okay, let's go for the next point over there. Okay, so what is the next point? They have given you a graph for y square is equal to x and y square is equal to minus x. So what is y here? Y is equal to root of x and y is equal to root of minus x. Okay children, you get y is equal to root x and y is equal to minus root of square root of minus x. So how is the graph going? See, y is equal to root x is here. This is, they have plotted here, y is equal to root x. Now, how is the function? The function is like this, y is equal to root x, means this is the function f of x. Now this function is y is equal to the same function. We don't have a minus sign in the front. The minus sign is only for the value x. So you get y is equal to f of minus x. The first one is of the type y is equal to minus f of x. And the second one is of the type y is equal to f of minus x. So remember, when you have y is equal to f of minus x, what is that? The reflection is about the y-axis. Now where is the y-axis over here? Yeah, this is the y-axis. So it's not going to be downward. If it comes downward means the reflection is about the x-axis. But now here you have a type of the function as f of minus x. So you have the reflection about the y-axis. So somewhat it comes like this. It's no need to plot any points, just a direct plotting of the graph, a direct transformations. So this is about the y-axis. In the previous case we have seen the reflection about the x-axis. Now how is the reflection going on? About the y-axis. So reflection is about the y-axis. Is it clear? Okay, good. Now we have one more point to be seen. The last one. What is the last one? The graph of y is equal to f inverse x is a reflection of the graph of f in y is equal to x. You may take the example of the previous functions, that is sum number 20. Yes children, sum number 20 we had a symmetrical line y is equal to x, and what we have done, we have seen that f of x and f inverse x were reflections of each other. Yes, so you can take sum number 20 of this type. What was the type? Y is equal to f inverse x is the reflection of the graph of f in y is equal to x. So that one example we can say. And here they have given you one more example. What's the example given here? Yes, y is equal to e raised to x and y is equal to log x to the base e. So let's see how is this graph going on. So what are we going to consider here? We are going to consider the function y is equal to e raised to x. So let's plot the graph of e raised to x. So e raised to x is somewhat here. How it goes? It goes somewhat like this, y is equal to e raised to x. You have a line, y is equal to x. And what is the inverse of e raised to x? The inverse of e raised to x is y is equal to log x to the base e. How to read this children? Log x to the base e. I'll read once again for you. Log x to the base e. What is the base here? E is the base, that is log x is written on a same line, E is written little below. Okay. So since they are inverses, you will get a graph over here, somewhat a graph. So what you can see here, they are the reflections, and this line is called the mirror line. Y is equal to x is a mirror line, and y is equal to e raised to x, and y is equal to log e, it is log x to the base e. They are symmetrical to each other. So that was your point number 3. Clear, children? So I have completed the explanation for the first part of transformation, or the first type of transformation, that is reflection, and we will see about translation and dilation in the next class. But your homework will be to complete about translation and dilation also. You have to write the definition for translation. The second, so just go for the homework but properly. So second is translation, and you have to write the definition. Illustration. What are the illustration given below? 1.8, 1.9. And then third one is dilation. Write the definition, give the illustration. So you have your own study, you just study, you have to self-study how is the translation, when there is a translation, how is the graph shifting, how when the function differs, how it's been shifting upwards. See, they have given, it's shifting left to, it's shifting to the right, it shifts to the upward part, to the downward part, and so on. So you have to do a self-study over there. I will be explaining about translation and dilation in the next class. Before I explain, you have to self-study and you have to be ready with the concept. Okay, for the third one, you will write the definition and also you will do the illustration. So you are just going to do one illustration, that is enough. That's 1.10. So this will be your homework. I hope the homework part is clear to you. Okay, children, are you today what we have done? Today we have seen about the reflection and three different reflections. So I have given you some examples. So I hope you are clear with the three different reflections. And also I have told you to go for a self-study. You have to self-study about the translation and dilation. Some graphs are given, so just see the graph carefully, note the graph carefully, study it properly. Okay, just see how it shifted. This is minute change, only a minute change will be there, so observe the minute changes very carefully. Okay, children, so just complete your homeworks and do the self-study that I have told you to do. Okay, we stop over here. We will meet in the next class.